Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Good afternoon, everyone. The last day today. Last week we didn't finish combination of mental factor, right? So we are studying how Cheta associate with Cetasika, right? So we have 12 unwholesome Chetas. 12 unwholesome Cheta basically associate with 27 mental factors and 30 command to the other Cetasikas. As you know, these 30 command to the other Cetasikas were associated either with the wholesome or unwholesome Cheta, right? So these 30 were associated with 27 mental factors, 12 unwholesome Chetas. And they associate with 40 unwholesome Cetasika as well. So altogether 27. Basically 27, right? 27. So these unwholesome Cheta were not associated with 25 beautiful Cetasikas. It's quite clear, right? So wholesome Cheta and unwholesome Cheta were not arise together. Unwholesome Cheta and beautiful mental factor will not rise together, right? Another one is greed-rooted Chetas do not associate with hatred group mental factors. Later I will show you we have a 4 hatred group: hatred, envy, avarice, and remorse, right? So greed-rooted Chetas were not associated with hatred group mental factors. And hatred-rooted Chetas do not associate with greed group mental factors. So I think for those who didn't learn Cetasika, very boring. Very boring. For those who learn, I think very interesting. It's really very interesting. It talks about a very subtle level of combination of Cheta and Cetasika, right? Basically, we are unwholesome Cheta, 12 unwholesome Cheta were associated with 27 mental factors, right? So we have a 12 unwholesome Chetas. Consciousness rooted in greed, 8 consciousness rooted in greed. 2 consciousness rooted in hatred, and 2 consciousness rooted in delusion, right? So altogether 12. Let's talk about 40 unwholesome mental factors. So actually among the 40, delusion, shamelessness, fearlessness of wrongdoing, restlessness, right? So all these are called unwholesome universes, because wherever you do unwholesome deed, they were associated with, they were accompanied by, right? So therefore they are called unwholesome universes. Whether you are doing with the greed, unwholesome deed, whether you are doing unwholesome deed with the hatred or delusion, so all these 4 will be associated with or accompanied by, right? So remember that wherever you do unwholesome deed with the greed, hatred, delusion, any type of unwholesome chetas, these four were associated with. So therefore they are called unwholesome universes. Right? Unwholesome universes. The next one is called greed group. Cetasika, right? Mental factor. Greed, wrong view, conceit. The wrong view and conceit basically come from greed, right? Because of greed, we have a wrong view. Because of greed, we have a conceit, right? Egocentric comparison. So therefore, these three are called greed group mental factor. So when we talk about consciousness rooted in greed, right? We have to think about these three, right? These three. So among the 40 unwholesome mental factor, so the first four is called unwholesome universes, right? And when we talk about consciousness rooted in greed, four mental factor were unwholesome universes, including three Cetasika, three mental factors, greed, wrong view, conceit were associated with, right? You have to remember that. So when we talk about consciousness rooted in greed, we don't have a hatred group, right? We cannot get hatred group, because greed and hatred cannot arise together. They will arise separately, right? Next one is hatred, envy, avarice, remorse. So that these four are called hatred group. Because the moment you have all these mental factors, you don't like it, right? You hate it. You don't like it, you hate it, right? So therefore, all these four are called hatred group. When we talk about consciousness rooted in hatred, these four were associated with, together with four unwholesome universes, right? Four unwholesome universes. When we talk about consciousness, hatred, rooted in hatred, we don't have a greed group, right? We don't have a greed group. We have to know it. Another one is Lord and Torpor. Actually, Lord and Torpor is the capacity of mind and body weaker and weaker, right? When you have all these Lord and Torpor. So therefore, you need to make a lot of effort, or you need to put a lot of effort. So that means you need to be prompted, right? So therefore, Lord and Torpor were associated with prompted cheta, right? They were not associated with unprompted cheta. Unprompted cheta means you have a lot of motivation, a lot of volition, a lot of energy. So therefore, you don't need to be prompted, right? So therefore, Lord and Torpor were not associated with unprompted chetas. So these two are also very important. So when we count combinations or association of mental factor, so these two will make it different, too much different, right? Lord and Torpor were associated with prompted chetas. And the last one is doubt, vicikiccha. So this mental factor associated with cheta rooted in doubt, right? Rooted in doubt. So when we talk about cheta rooted in doubt, right? And we will have unwholesome universes. And also this one, doubt, right? Doubt. So when we roughly divide 40 unwholesome mental factors, number one, 4 universes, right? Number one group, 4 unwholesome universes. It will associate with any type of cheta. And number 2 group, greed group, right? greed, wrong view, and conceit. And number 3 group, hatred group. Hatred, envy, avarice, and remorse. And number 4 group, sloth and torpor. Right? Sloth and torpor. So they were associated with pranayacheta. Unwholesome pranayacheta. Right? Unwholesome pranayacheta. And number 6, doubt. Right? Number 5, doubt. So these were associated only with Cheta, rooted in doubt. And I hope you got it, right? So, and then it will be easier when we think about the association of mental factors. Non-A consciousness rooted in greed, right? Rooted in greed. Number 1, one consciousness accompanied by joy, associated with the wrong view. So that means wrong view is greed root, right? Greed group, in the greed group. So when we talk about wrong view, we have to take greed, right? Greed and wrong view together with 4 unwholesome universes. 4 unwholesome universes. That means 6, right? 6 together with the 13 command to the other Cetasikas. So altogether 30 and 6, 80, right? 80. Sorry, 90. 90, right? 30 and 6, 90, right? 90. So here we are talking about unprompted. Unprompted means sloth and torpor we're not associated with, right? Sloth and torpor we're not associated with. We will call it, number 1, we will call it the first unprompted Cheta, right? The first unprompted Cheta. Number 2, one consciousness accompanied by joy, associated with the wrong view, unprompted. So this one is called the first prompted Cheta. The first prompted Cheta, right? The first prompted Cheta. So when we talk about second one, it will associate with sloth and torpor. So we have to add sloth and torpor into 90, altogether 21. You know number 1, how to count, right? So we have a 30 command to the other Cetasikas. And we have 4 unwholesome universes. So altogether 70, right? 70. So here, associated with the wrong view, that means we have to count wrong view, 18. But wrong view comes from greed. So therefore 90. So when we are talking about Cheta rooted in greed, so therefore we will not have hatred group. If it is an unprompted one, we will not have a sloth and torpor. And doubt, no. Doubt is delusion-rooted consciousness, right? So therefore, the first Cheta rooted in greed will associate with 90 Cetasika, right? 90 Cetasika. But here, second one, prompted one. So therefore, we need to be prompted. So therefore, we need sloth and torpor, right? So we are under sloth and torpor. So we add sloth and torpor, so that it became 21. 21, right? 21. Then number 3, one consciousness accompanied by joy, dissociated from wrong view. So here, only one difference is dissociated from wrong view. There will be no wrong view, but conceit. Conceit, right? Conceit. So always say that wrong view and conceit will not arise together. They are just like 2 great lion kings. They will not stay in one cave, right? Just like that. When the wrong view arises, conceit will not. So number 3, Cheda, only one difference. So wrong view is replaced with conceit. Altogether, 90. 30 command to the other Cetasikas, 4 unwholesome universes, greed and conceit, right? Greed and conceit. And number 4, what is different? We have to add sloth and torpor, right? Sloth and torpor. This is together with the greed conceit, right? Sloth and torpor. So this one will be second Prantajeta, right? Number 2 is the first Prantajeta. Number 4 is second Prantajeta. And number 1 is the first Prantajeta. Number 3 is second Prantajeta, right? When we talk about 5 to 8, only one difference. What is it? Sorry? Equanimity. Okay. So which mental factor we have to reduce? We have to exclude. Joy. No. Joy. Zest. Right? Pity. Rapture. Because pity will not arise together with the equanimity, right? So therefore, we have to exclude only one mental factor, that is zest. So here, number 5, how many mental factors were associated with? How many? Number 5. 80, right? 80. 30, command to the other Cetasikas. 4 unwholesome universes, greed and wrong view, right? Wrong view. And number 6, how many? No. 20. We have to add sloth and torpor. The reason is prompted, right? Prompted. The number 7, how many? 80, right? 80. We have to replace wrong view with that conceit. And number 8, 20, right? We have to add sloth and torpor. Not difficult, right? Not difficult, really easy. Still difficult? Huh? Is it still difficult? Second time. Okay. Sorry? Huh? Page 113. Oh, you mean the page number to reference? Oh, okay. Reference to page number 113. Please try to read the page number 113. Because I think most of you didn't bring the book. So therefore, I think the best way is to refer to the book. To refer to the book. Because next time when you read, I think it is good to understand those associations and combinations, right? I think it's very... Okay, so number 5 is called the third Prantajeta, right? Number 7 is called the fourth Prantajeta. Number 6 is called the third Prantajeta. Number 8 is called the fourth Prantajeta, right? So you have to know it. So if you know this one, I think we don't need to calculate, right? Among 8 greed-rooted Cheda, the first Prantajeta associated with 90 mental factor, 30 command to the other Cetasika, 4 unwholesome universes, greed and wrong view, right? And second one will be greed and conceit, right? Conceit. And the third one, so we have to, So the third one, we have to exclude zest, piti. The reason is piti we're not associated with, right? Piti we're not associated with the equanimity. So therefore, we have to exclude piti. The fourth unprompted citta, same thing, 18 minute factor. So this one also accompanied by equanimity, therefore we have to exclude zest, right? And the first prompted citta, 21, because we include sloth and torpor, right? Sloth and torpor. And second one, instead of wrong view, replace with the conceit, right? 21. And the third prompted citta associated with 20. Because we have to exclude zest and include sloth and torpor, 20, right? And the fourth prompted citta also 20, and it is with the conceit, right? With the conceit. Do you have any difficulty to understand? No. Sorry? If you think that it is easy, after learning 2 times, nobody, difficult for everyone, right? Actually here the point is you have to know how to categorize 40 unwholesome mental factor, right? That's very important one. Among the 40 unwholesome mental factor, the first group is unwholesome universes, right? So these 4 were associated with any type of cittas, right? Whether you're talking about greed or hatred or delusion, these 4 were associated with, right? You have to remember it. Then second group, greed, wrong view and conceit, right? So these 3 were associated with citta rooted in greed, right? Rooted in greed. Then the third one, hatred, envy, avarice, and remorse. So these 4 were associated with the citta rooted in hatred. So when we talk about hatred rooted citta, and greed group we're not associated with. When we talk about greed, hatred group we're not associated with, right? Then the fourth group, the fourth group, sloth and torpor. So these sloth and torpor were associated with prompted citta, because people who are under sloth and torpor need to be prompted, right? We need to make a lot of effort, volitional assertion, right? Then the last one is doubt. Doubt is very clear. It will associate with citta rooted in doubt, right? Wherever unwholesome citta you set, the first group, unwholesome universal, will associate. If you know this one, very easy. So the first one, comment to the other Cetasika. We have a 30, right? Comment to the other Cetasika. So these Cetasika were associated with either wholesome or unwholesome, right? Unwholesome. So among them, piti, zest, were not associated with equanimity, right? So when we talk about equanimity, cittas accompanied by equanimity, zest or piti were not associated with. That's very important one, right? If you know this, easy to calculate. Without looking at all these one, you know how to calculate, right? The first citta, consciousness, one consciousness accompanied by joy, right? And associated with the wrong view, unprompted, right? Unprompted. Associated, accompanied by joy. So that means we will have 30 and common to the others, right? We don't need to exclude piti. 30 common to the others. So we have to think about 40 unwholesome mental factor, right? Among the 40, we will have the first group. The first group is unwholesome universes, right? Now we have is 70. We are talking about associated with the wrong view. That means we will have a wrong view. Wrong view comes from greed. So therefore, greed and wrong view. So among the greed group, we will not have a conceit. The reason is the wrong view and conceit will not come together, right? So up to now we have a 90, right? So hatred group will not associate with, because hatred and greed, so they are opposite, right? Opposite. Sloth and torpor will not associate with. The reason is unprounded. And doubt will not associate. 90, right? 90. Quite clear, right? Quite clear. And second cheta, associated with the wrong view. Associated with the wrong view, prompted. But this one prompted, we have to act sloth in torpor, because we need to be prompted, right? Sloth in torpor, 21. And second one, dissociated from wrong view. So that means no wrong view. That if there's no wrong view, conceit, right? Conceit. But still greed, right? Greed and conceit. So 90, right? 90. And the fourth one, dissociated from wrong view, that means conceit, prompted. We have to add sloth in torpor, 21, right? The fifth one, accompanied by equanimity. So the rest are the same. So accompanied by equanimity, that means we have to exclude what one? Which mental factor? Piti, zest, right? So it became 80, right? 80 mental factor. What are the 80? 30 command to the other Cetasikas, 4 unwholesome universes, greed and wrong view, right? Then 6 one, prompted. You just add sloth in torpor. It became 20, right? 20. And 7th, dissociated from wrong view. Then you replace wrong view with the conceit. 80, right? And the last one, dissociated from wrong view, equanimity, accompanied by equanimity. That means you have to exclude zest, right? I hope it's clear, right? Okay. The reason, okay. Energy different. Actually, when we talk about energy, when we go to the rootless consciousness, I think you will know it. So energy do not associate with 60 rootless consciousness. We have 80 rootless consciousness, right? 80 rootless consciousness. Among the 80, only 2 cheta are powerful or energetic. Only 2 cheta are energetic. The first one is smiling producing consciousness. If we smile, we need energy, right? Of course, this is the first reason, smile producing consciousness associated with the energy. And second one is determining consciousness. when we talk about mind process, later I will show you. So when we talk about mind process, then the door open, then we see unconsciousness and the receiving consciousness. We receive the object, right? Then investigate that object. Then after investigating, then we determine, right? Determine. So therefore, determining Chaita is powerful and energetic. The rest are not. So what I want to explain is, among the rootless 80 rootless consciousness, only 2 Chaitas are energetic, right? Actually, after determining Javana, right? Javana. So even determining Chaita is powerful, Javana is more powerful, right? So Agutala Chaitas are among the Javana Chaita. So therefore they are powerful, right? Different with the, how to say, the volitional insertion, right? But here we're talking about volitional insertion, not just energy, volitional energy, but we also have other energy as well, right? Okay, so let's finish about consciousness rooted in greed. Let's talk about 2 consciousness rooted in hatred, right? 2 consciousness rooted in hatred. 1 consciousness accompanied by displeasure, associated with the aversion and prompted. And the last one is prompted, right? Prompted. So I think here we can count very easily, right? We can count very easily. We have to think among the 30 command to the other Cetasikas, we have to think about piti. Piti does not associate with equanimity. But here, not equanimity is a displeasure, right? We have to think that piti can associate with hatred. What do you think? When you are angry, will you have a piti? No, right? When you are angry, no piti. It's very clear, right? Very clear. So therefore, among the 30 command to the other Cetasikas, there will be no piti, right? No piti. So that means we will have a 12 command to the other Cetasikas. Among the 40 unwholesome mental factor, we will have it the first group, right? The first group is the unwholesome, 4 unwholesome universes. Now 60, right? 16. Then we will not have a second group because we are talking about hatred, right? Greed group we are not associated with. So we will have a third group, hatred group, right? We are talking about hatred. So therefore, we will have a hatred group. Hatred, envy, avarice, and remorse. When I count, you also count. Follow me, because in this way you remember, right? Normally, when I teach in Burmese, I let them repeat after me, so that they can remember, in their mind. Otherwise, just listening, not easy to remember, right? Now we have a 12 command to the other Cetasikas, excluding zest, right? Zest. And we will have a 4 unwholesome universes, altogether 60. And we will have a hatred group, 4 mental factor, altogether 20. We are talking about unprompted. We don't need to count sloth and torpor. But doubt will not associate with any other Chaita, other than Chaita rooted in doubt. So we forgot about doubt, right? So altogether 20. Very easy, right? Very easy. Three, command to the other, Cetasika, excluding zest. Four, unwholesome universes. And four, hatred group mental factor. Very easy. How about number two? Prompted. How many? 22. Sloth in torpor. I think very easy, right? This one, we have only two, right? Two Cheta, therefore easy. Okay. Among the two hatred Cheta, the first unprompted Cheta, the fifth. This one is the number fifth, right? The reason is we have talked about 1 to 4 unprompted Cheta. So this one is the fifth, right? The fifth unprompted Cheta associated with 20 mental factors, 12 command to the other Cetasikas, excluding zest. 4 unwholesome universes, hatred, envy, avarice, and remorse. Altogether, 20, right? So this is used as a fifth unprompted Cheta, since it is the fifth one among the akusala, unwholesome, unprompted Chetas, right? Unprompted Cheta. Then, among the two hatred-rooted Chetas, the fifth prompted Cheta. So this one also used as a fifth. The reason is, among the unwholesome Cheta, this is fifth prompted Cheta, right? So we will add only sloth and torpor. So together, 22. And here again, Cheta rooted in hatred associated with 22, right? Too many. Why they do not mention the first place? Still remember? The reason why? Because when we talk about combination, right? We have 33 combinations. So the order of Abhidhamma Sangha mention supramundane Cheta first, right? Supramundane Cheta associated with 36. But here, so hatred-rooted Cheta associates with 22 Cheta. Why? It's not said as not mentioned as a first. What do you think? Why? You forget it, right? Of course. Look at this one. When we talk about hatred group Cheta, mental factor, hatred, envy, avarice, and remorse. So when we have remorse in our mind, envy and avarice will not arise. When we have envy in our mind, and avarice and remorse will not arise, right? So therefore, they do not arise together, right? Together. So actually, the order make a sequence of the number. The reason is the most, the biggest number, or the biggest number that's associated with all together, right? All together. It's not very important. It's not very important. Okay, leave it. I think that you stay confused. Stay confused. Okay, leave it. Actually, I have included in my note, I think, when I talk about Subramanian Cheta. Right? Okay, leave it. Then we'll talk about two consciousness rooted in delusion, right? Rooted in delusion. One consciousness accompanied by equanimity. Here, equanimity. So there's no pity, right? There's no pity. Associated with the doubt, right? Associated with the doubt. When we talk about doubt, when we talk about doubt, you cannot decide, right? If you cannot decide, there will be no decision. Decision means the factor, right? Atimauka. When we talk about doubt, there will be no decision. Decision means the factor. And zest and decision. Another one is the moment you are under the doubt, you will not have any desire, right? So I give one example. You are choosing two clothes, right? Two clothes. You cannot decide yet, right? But no desire at the time to choose one. So therefore, when we talk about doubt, there is no piti, there is no desire, there is no decision. So you have to exclude these three. So that means only 10 command to the others. 10 command to the others, right? Actually, zest, piti is clear because it's equanimity, right? If you are doubtful, no desire. No desire, no decision, right? No decision. So you have to exclude these three. So that means only 10 command to the others. But among the 40 unwholesome middle factor, the first group, 4 unwholesome universes. Now, altogether, 40, right? Second Greek group, we're not associated with, because it is a delusion, right? Not normal delusion. Delusion consciousness rooted in doubt, right? Normal delusion we're associated with the greed, right? But he is not normal one. In doubt, right? In doubt. So therefore, 4 unwholesome universes, and you will not have a greed group. Also, you will not have hatred group. Will you have sloth and torpor? What do you think? No, sloth and torpor will associate prompted chait, right? But here there's no prompted or unprompted, right? Prompted or no unprompted. Then we have to add doubt. Altogether 50. Altogether 50. 10 command to the other Cetasikas, excluding zest, decision, and desire. Then 4 unwholesome universes and doubt. Altogether 50, right? But here, number 2, one consciousness accompanied by equanimity, associated with restlessness. Here, so the restlessness so accompanied by equanimity, you have to exclude zest, right? So when you talk about delusion, rooted consciousness, there is no desire. No desire, right? But you have a slight degree of decision. Decision, we don't have to exclude the decision, because when you are restless, you still have a slight degree of decision. So therefore, decision consciousness will come again, right? Come again. So that means 11 command to the other Cetasikas, excluding what? Excluding zest and desire. And together with 4 unwholesome universes. Altogether 50. That's all. You will not have a second group, and third group, and fourth group. And also you will not have a fifth group. Only 4 unwholesome universes, right? So when you know in this way, not really difficult. The chaita associated with the restlessness. Here, restlessness comes first, right? 11 comment to the other Cetasikas, excluding desire and zest, 4 unwholesome universes. The Cheta associated with the doubt were associated with 50 mental factors. 10 comment to the other Cetasikas, excluding decision, zest, and desire. 4 unwholesome universes and doubt, right? Altogether, 50. So these are the most difficult part in the combinations, right? If you know this one, you know everything. The most difficult part, right? The most difficult part. Any question regarding with this part? Sorry? Oh, no. Next year. Not this year. Next year I will make a special chart so that you just look at the chart, right? It's easier for us. Otherwise now you didn't read the book. Normally it's good to refer to the book, right? The next one, page number 108. Page number 108. We talk about 80 rootless chetas. 80 rootless chetas. Rootless chetas basically associate with 12 command to the other Cetasikas only, excluding desire. When we talk about desire is mental factor, right? Desire associated with 69 chetas. Among the 69, is the desire do not associate with 80 rootless chetas, and also 2 chetas rooted in delusion, more mula cheta. So we have to exclude 20. Desire do not associate with 20 chetas. When your mind is deluded, you don't have desire, right? You don't have desire to do anything. When you are in rootless consciousness, no desire, right? I will show you with when I show you with mind process, you will know it very easily. You will know it very clearly, right? The moment you are rootless chetas, no desire. So therefore, when we talk about rootless chetas, we have to exclude desire. When these chetas occur in our mind, there's no desire to do something. While they are occurring, there are neither wholesome or unwholesome mental factors in our mind. The moment you are in rootless chetas, you are not doing any unwholesome deed or wholesome deed. So therefore we are called rootless, right? So we have 6 type of roots. The root of wholesome and unwholesome things. Lobha, dosa, moha. When you do unwholesome things, 3 root. Lobha, dosa, moha. When you do wholesome things, 3 root. Alobha, adosa, amoha. Lobha, dosa, moha are the root of unwholesome deed. So that means when you are in rootless cheta, you are not doing any wholesome deed or unwholesome deed. Right? We call it abhyagata. Abhyagata means it cannot be say either wholesome or unwholesome. Right? Abhyagata. So therefore, among the 52 mental factor, we have a 40 unwholesome mental factor, right? The moment you are rootless cheta, those 40 unwholesome mental factors will not arise. And also, the moment you are in 80 rootless consciousness, you don't have 25 beautiful mental factors. 25 beautiful mental factors are called wholesome, right? Wholesome. So therefore, we don't need to count 40 unwholesome mental factors as well as 25 beautiful mental factors. So we have to count 30, right? 30 common to the others. Even among the 30, no desire, right? No desire. I think when you see the mind process, you will know it, right? You will know it. I think that's very important when, especially for the teachers, for those who want to become teachers. We have 80 rootless consciousness, 7 unwholesome resident consciousness. So we have 7. So when you do unwholesome deed, right? When you do unwholesome deed, and you will have these unwholesome result, 7 unwholesome result. And when you do wholesome deed, you will have 8 wholesome result, right? Wholesome result. But these are 3 rootless functional consciousness. Just do functioning, right? Just do functioning. The first one, open the door. The first 2 open the door. And the last one, smile producing consciousness. Just smile, right? We cannot call it wholesome or unwholesome. Smile producing consciousness arises only in the minds of Arahant and the Buddha, right? Just smile. We cannot say it is wholesome or unwholesome, right? Wholesome or unwholesome. But when we smile, we can call wholesome or unwholesome, right? When we do unwholesome deed, sometimes we smile, right? Yeah. It's a akusala smile. When we do good things, we smile, right? Right now we are smiling. That is a smile, joy, right? Accompanied by joy. Accompanied by joy. So, but regarding with the smile of Arahant and the Buddha, we cannot call it wholesome or unwholesome, right? Wholesome or unwholesome. So altogether 80, right? The first one, because of unwholesome deed, we will have just look at this one. Actually, just how to say repeat it again, right? Just a little bit. So when we do unwholesome deed, we will see unwholesome things. It is called unconsciousness accompanied by equanimity. And we will hear unwholesome things. We will smell unwholesome things. And we will taste unwholesome bad things, right? And we will touch unwholesome things. And we will receive it, right? And we have to investigate. Sometimes when you are eating bad food, right? Because of unwholesome deed, but still you have to investigate, right? That object. Investigating consciousness, right? And you have to receive it and investigate it. So altogether 7, right? 7 unwholesome resident consciousness. But when you do a wholesome deed, receiving consciousness and investigating consciousness arise only in 5 sense doors. Only in 5 sense doors. Not in mind door, right? That's very important. We have 8 wholesome resident rootless consciousness. When you do wholesome things, you will have these 8. You will see wholesome things, and you will hear wholesome things, and you will smell. You will have a good smell, a good taste, a good touch, right? Good touch, and you have to receive it in the good things, and you have to investigate. But here, 2 investigation. So the first one, investigating consciousness accompanied by joy. If you have a very big kusala, right? Great kusala, and you investigate the object, desirable object with the joy. And when you investigate a normal, wholesome one, accompanied by equanimity. So you have to remember, here we have a joy, right? Accompanied by joy. Then this next one is accompanied by equanimity. So when we talk about 7 accompanied by joy, we don't need to exclude zest, right? That's a very important one. When we talk about number 8, investigating consciousness accompanied by equanimity, we have to exclude piti, right? Zest. That is different. Then 3 rootless functional consciousness. 5 sense door adverting consciousness. So when we see something, hear something, smell, taste and touch, right? And this chaita will open the door. Advert the door, right? 5 sense door adverting consciousness accompanied by equanimity. The mind door adverting consciousness accompanied by equanimity. But here, you have to take note that very important one. When it occurs, this one, mind door adverting consciousness occurs in the 5th door, it is called determining chaita. When we talk about determining chaita, you have to remember number 2. That's very important one. So you were confused, right? You were confused. Determining chaita is the same chaita as the mind or adverting consciousness, but different function. They have a different function, right? The mind or adverting consciousness will make function of the adverting. But here, determining chaita will make function of determining. Different function, right? The last one is smile producing consciousness. This is the most powerful chaita among the 80. The most powerful one. The reason is it is jhāvana. It is jhāvana. Jhāvanas are the most powerful chaitas. So next chapter you have to learn this one. We have a 55 jhāvana chaita. Wholesome and unwholesome, right? Wholesome and unwholesome. These are jhāvana. So among other, smiling producing consciousness, it is not wholesome. It's not wholesome or unwholesome. It is functional, right? Functional chaita. And we also have four fruition chaita. 4 fruition chaita is not wholesome or unwholesome. It is resident, right? Resident. Later is not very important. Later we'll come to that. Among the 80 rootless chaita, smile producing consciousness is the most powerful one, the most energetic one. So therefore, it will associate with 12 command to the other Cetasika. But still, it doesn't associate with the desire. So therefore, in the Pali Canon, you will see that sometimes the Buddha smile, sometimes Venerable Moggallana smile. Actually, I share a story, right? Venerable Moggallana go Penapada together with another monk. On the way, Venerable Moggallana smile, right? Smile. Normally, when Arahant smile, there is a reason, right? So therefore, the monks who accompany as Venerable Moggallana, why you produce a smile? Why you make it smile? And Venerable Moggallana said that No, it's not right time to ask that question. Ask me when we arrive, when we go to the Buddha. Then they come back, and in front of the Buddha, Venerable Lakkhana. Venerable Lakkhana asked the question, why you make it smile, happy? And Venerable Moggallana said that, on the way I saw Peter, who are suffering, a very big one. Some are skeleton, some are no bone, just flesh. So they are screaming in suffering. Because of that, I smile. But if we look at Venerable Moggallana's smile by looking at those suffering people, contradict, right? Contradict. But when we know Abhidhamma, it is not wholesome or unwholesome. It is functional consciousness. Just function. Just mind, right? Just mind. But that is the reason. The reason that Venerable Moggallana want to explain this, explain that. Then the Buddha said that, yes, when I attained enlightenment, I also saw those betas. But if I tell other people will not believe it. But no use, useless. So therefore, the Buddha said, I didn't tell anyone. But now I can tell everyone because I have now the witness, right? Now Venerable Moggallana knows that. So I am a witness. If I tell other people, and they can ask Venerable Moggallana, right? So therefore, smiling or arahant has a reason. Just smiling, we cannot call it unwholesome or wholesome, right? But when we smile, even anagami smile, they smile with wholesome or unwholesome, right? Or wholesome or unwholesome. So therefore, smiling production consciousness is the most powerful. We have to exclude desire, right? At that moment, Venerable Moggallana, no desire. Just smile, just function, right? Just function. So, smile producing consciousness were associated with 12 command to the other chetas, excluding desire, right? Desire. Then second energetic one is mind or adverting consciousness. The reason is it can determining consciousness, right? Then the door open, the eye consciousness, and receiving consciousness, investigation consciousness, and determine. So even in the government, someone who can determine the future of the country is powerful, right? So just like that, among the mind process, determining consciousness is very powerful. Second powerful cheta among the 80, rootless, because it can determine, right? So it can determine whether it is good or bad. We call it yoniso manasikara and ayoniso manasikara. Wise attention and unwise attention, right? So if you have wise attention, jhana will be wholesome one. If unwise attention, jhana will be unwholesome one. It can determine. So therefore, determining cheta is very important one. We call it yoniso manasikara or ayoniso manasikara, right? It depends. Even though as a result of unwholesome deed, and we will hear unpleasant sound, right? Unpleasant sounds. Then we have to receive it, receiving consciousness. And we investigate, right? We investigate who is talking like this, right? What is it? Then you determine, wow, he is insulting me. right? He or she is calling my name, right? Using unpleasant sounds, you determine, right? Then it is unwise attention. So jhana will be unwholesome one. Even though you hear unpleasant criticism or something, then you have a wise attention. Why? Just just ignore it, right? Just ignore it. That means wise attention. So then, if you have wise attention, then jhana will be wholesome one. Wholesome one. So therefore, determining consciousness has a very powerful one. It can decide it can determine whether it is a wholesome or unwholesome, right? But here, we have to look at accompanied by equanimity. Accompanied by equanimity. So that means we have to exclude which one? Zest, right? So that means mind or advancing consciousness. Actually, normally we will call it determining consciousness, right? Determining consciousness will associate with 11 command to the other Cetasikas, excluding desire and zest. Okay? Desire have to be excluded because they are rootless, right? Zest have to be excluded because accompanied by equanimity. Another one is here, investigating consciousness accompanied by joy. Accompanied by joy. That means we don't need to exclude zest, right? The zest or pity will come again, associate again. But what we have to exclude is energy. Among the 80 rootless consciousness, only 2 Cheta has energy. It's mind-producing consciousness and determining consciousness. The rest will not associate with energy. So therefore, here, investigating consciousness accompanied by joy will associate with 11 command to the other Cetasikas, excluding desire and energy. Because it is accompanied by joy, we don't need to exclude zest, right? So, investigating consciousness and determining consciousness, so their association is 11, right? The same number. So therefore, we count as a 1. Right? We count as a 1. Okay, so I think better look at this one. This one is a sense door mind process, right? Sense door mind process. Here, like continuum, right? Like continuum, pavanga. The vibration and advancing. So here, advancing means 5 door advancing. The moment you are 5 door advancing, not powerful yet, right? Not powerful yet. Then you see, right? Eye consciousness or ear consciousness, etc. So you receive it. Here, receive the object, the investigated. Up to receiving and investigating consciousness, not powerful yet. And determining, right? Determining, you trying to determine. Now, the Cheta became energetic, right? Full of assertion. Not full of one. To some extent, it has energy, right? Energy. Determining consciousness, then impulsion. Impulsion is jhana, right? Normally, I want to use experience the object, right? Experience the object with a full of energy, right? Look at this one. Impulsion is the most powerful Chetas. The most powerful Chetas, right? Among the 80 rootless consciousness, Mind producing consciousness is impartial. So therefore, it is energetic. It's associated with the energy. Determining consciousness also energetic. It's associated with the energy because it can determine, right, whether good or wrong.
The mango and the man story that you say is up to which one then?
Oh, up to it. Have to look at the time. I think you still remember mango, the man under the mango tree, right?
Yes.
Actually, he's sleeping. Sleeping is bhavanga, life continuum, right? Then suddenly mango fruit drop, right? It makes sounds. Making sound is vibration, right? Vibration. Now he wake up and he open blanket, right? Blanket. Opening blanket is adverting. That he see the mango. That means sense consciousness, unconsciousness, right? Unconsciousness. And he take that mango, receiving consciousness. And he investigate whether the mango is ripe or raw, right? Right or raw. That is a investigating consciousness. Then he determined this is a very ripe mango, right? He determined. Then he eat it. Eating is impartial, javana, right? Eating is the most powerful, right? The most powerful one. The moment you cannot determine, the moment determination, not powerful yet, not energetic yet, right? So therefore, among the 80, only mind producing consciousness and determining consciousness is associated with the energy, right? Viriya. Okay. I think up to here, I think mind producing consciousness is impartial. It will associate with the Theo, right? Theo command to the others. You have to exclude. You have to exclude desire, right? Desire. Then determining consciousness associate with 11 command to the others. You have to exclude desire and what is it? Desire and sex, right? Because it is accompanied by equanimity. Then we have a 3 investigating consciousness, right? 3 investigation consciousness. 2 is accompanied by equanimity. 1 is accompanied by joy. So when we talk about accompanied by joy, we don't need to exclude piti, right? But it will not associate with the energy, right? So therefore, 11 command to the other Cetasikas, you have to exclude desire and energy. 11. Actually, determining consciousness, investigating consciousness, accompanied by joy, the same number, right? 11. So therefore, we count it as a one method. One method. And we have another 2 investigating consciousness accompanied by equanimity. And receiving consciousness, 2 receiving consciousness. And we have 2 receiving, another one is adverting consciousness. Among the adverting consciousness, 5 door adverting consciousness, altogether 5. You leave sense consciousness. Let's forget about sense consciousness. So 2 investigating consciousness. Look at this one. This one not powerful. That's not associated with energy. Here, right? We talk about investigating consciousness accompanied by joy. This one finished, right? So we still have another 2 investigating consciousness accompanied by equanimity. So when we talk about accompanied by equanimity, we have to exclude zest as well, right? Zest as well. Together with the desire and energy, right? Desire and energy. So it will associate with only 10 command to the other Cetasika. 10 command to the other Cetasika have to exclude desire, energy, and zest. And we have a 2 receiving consciousness. Do you know 2 receiving consciousness? 1 because of unwholesome deed. 1 because of wholesome deed, right? 2 receiving consciousness. Another one is 5 door adverting. This one, 5 door adverting. Right? 5 door adverting. These 5 were associated with 10 command to the other Cetasikas. You have to exclude desire, and you have to exclude zest, because accompanied by equanimity, or accompanied by equanimity. And you have to exclude energy, because no energy. Energy associated with only 2, right? It's mind producing and determining Cheta. So therefore, only 10 command to the other Cetasikas. Then let's talk about sense consciousness. Actually, sense consciousness is called 2 set of 5 sense consciousness. We have 1 set of eye consciousness, right? 2 type of eye consciousness, 2 type of ear consciousness, 2 type of nose consciousness, 2 type of tongue consciousness, 2 type of body consciousness. So these are called sense consciousness. 2 set of sense consciousness, right? 2 set of 5 sense consciousness. They were associated only 7. So we have 7 universes, right? The most weakest Cheta. Think about when you think about eye consciousness, mind process. Somebody opened the door, right? And we will see it. No choice. We are looking at the door. And the doorkeeper opened the door, right? As soon as he opened the door, we'll see it. No choice, no energy, right? No desire, just see it. So the most weakest mind, right? Weakest mind. When we talk about 5 door adverting, actually the one who opened the door, no, he has the choice. He can open or not open, right? But I'm conscious. When we hear a very big sound outside, even though we are learning with full of concentration, then both legs outside. Both legs, right? Very big noise. You try. The ear consciousness will function, right? So therefore, 10 sense consciousness are the weakest Cheta, right? Only 7 universes in the packet, right? And I hope you got it, right? Mind producing consciousness is 5 investigating consciousness. Investigating consciousness accompanied by joy. 11 command to the other Cetasikas. We don't need to exclude piti what can be. And what we have to do is no energy, right? So desire and energy have to be excluded. And 2 investigating consciousness accompanied by equanimity. 2 receiving consciousness. When five-door advantage. Five-door advantage. Right? Five-door advantage. These 5 were associated with only 10. No desire, no piti, no zest, and no energy. Only 10. But sense consciousness, 10 type of sense consciousness only associated with 7 universes. So those 7 universes were associated with any type of chain, right? Any type of chain. So these are 10 type of sense consciousness are with this. I think if you look at this mind process, and we understand combination of the human factors, right? Okay, just look at this one. Spine producing cheda associated with 12 command to the other middle factors, excluding Giải. Determining cheda associated with 11 command to the others, excluding desire and zest. This cheda, determining cheda, is accompanied by equanimity. Therefore, zest cannot coexist with this, right? Cannot coexist. Then these 2 are the most energetic cheda. And then 18, right? And the 18. So when we talk about energy, Vidya associated with 17. It does not associate with 60 cheda, right? And the 80 kutala cheda, spine producing cheda, and cheda associated with the energy. The rest were not. Investigating cheda accompanied by joy, associated with 11 command to the other Cetasikas, excluding desire and energy. This cheda is accompanied by joy, so therefore that's associated with this. Right? It is not energetic cheda, so therefore no energy. The number is the same with the previous cheda. So that means determining cheda associated with 11. So this cheda also associated with 11. So therefore, they are the same. So therefore, they are counted as a one method. Right? One method. And number 3, 5-door adverting cheda and 2 receiving chedas. 2 receiving cheda. So these 3 are called the triple mind element. The triple mind element. So when we learn 3rd chapter, next chapter, to mention again, the triple mind element, because these 3 are very important for arising of the mind. Arising of the mind. If the 5-door adverting cheda do not open the door, mind process will not arise, right? That's very important. And receiving consciousness is very important. Somebody came in, if you do not welcome, no, cannot, right? So welcoming or receiving consciousness also very important. So therefore they are called the triple mind element. And 2 investigating chedas accompanied by equanimity. So these 2 are called pair of rootless rebirth linking chedas. In the next chapter, we have to learn 90 Ripa linking Chetas. Among them, we have 2 rootless Ripa linking Cheta. Right? Actually, page number 109 mention. 109. Right? And you can read it. You can read it. So, these 5 were associated with 10 command to the other mental factors, excluding desire, zest, and energy. So all these are accompanied by equanimity, right? Therefore, no zest. Then the last one, the 2 subtle 5-fold consciousness. 2 subtle 5-fold consciousness. Dvipancha Vijnana. Dvipancha Vijnana. Actually, to remember in English, very difficult. We forgot to remember in Pali. If we remember in Pali, very easy. Of course, at the first time may not be easy, but later easier to talk. So English sometimes is very confusing. Sometimes, especially when you read the suttas, different usage of the translation, different translation, right? Even here, we have even here, 2 subtle 5-fold consciousness. Very long, right? Difficult to remember. But in the mind process chart, Rebecca then used sense consciousness, right? But if we remember Dvipancha Vijnana, finish, right? And we fix that usage, right? Actually, most of the Abhidhamma teacher, they use Pali. So therefore, for me, I intended to apply Abhidhamma in daily life. So therefore, I don't want to burden you. But I think that next chapter will be technical one. Next chapter, third chapter will be technical one. So therefore, we need to know 89 Cheta. 89 Cheta. Maybe next year I will make a chart of my own so that I can refer to that, right? I can refer to that. Then the 4th chapter talk about the mind. Mind process. The 5th chapter will talk about the Ripa linking consciousness and 31 planes of existence. And 6th chapter will talk about the matter, 28 matter, right? 28 matter. And 7 and 9 are very useful. Actually, 7 and 9 can apply in our daily life. And the 8th one is dependent origination. And also patana, right? Patana. So, we need to 2 subtle 5-fold consciousness associated with 7 universal mental factors, right? So this is the most weakest Cheta. 2 subtle 5-fold consciousness, a pair of eye consciousness, a pair of ear consciousness, nose consciousness, tongue consciousness, pair of body consciousness, right? So these are called 2 set. So we have a 2 subtle 5-fold, right? 5-fold. Any question? Any question? So this is the end of this year. This year. So actually, as I said earlier, if you know 89 Chetas and 52 mental factor, enough. You apply them in your daily life. Most of the rest, other than 7 chapter and 9 chapter, we can apply. But the rest, very technical one. Only Abhidhamma specialist, right? If you consider as Abhidhamma specialist, you can join next year, right? You can join next year. So, any announcement? announcement. Yeah. Can you wait for a while for the group photo, right? Group photo for remembrance, eh? Okay. After Chinese New Year. After Chinese New Year.
Okay, there's just two announcements only. One is today's the last lesson for this year. So the new class will start next year after Chinese New Year. So either late February or early March. We'll send email to inform you. Right? Second announcement is that this coming Monday, 30th, we have a talk by Bade Chakapala. The title is 3 Types of Happiness, 7:30 in this hall. Okay, so please stay for our group photo taking. Thank you. Can you please rise? Yo vada kampavaro manu Jesu sakyamuni bhagavata gecho aragato palavidiya samangi tam sugatam saranatam upemi ragavi ragamani jama sukam dhamma sangata patikulam madura mimam pagunam suvibatam Dhamma mimam saranatam upemi yata chati namaha palamahu chatusu suchisu purisa yogesu atacha pugala dhammadasate Sangami mam saranatam upemi. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you, Bante.